I can help you. But Vanessa, if you want to lead everybody to, I think we're starting with your space, right?
I believe so. Yeah, sure. So my space is the space on the grass over here.
I just figured that out, and then now I'm recording the screen while going. Yeah. Cool. I have to hover the mouse or something, no?
Yeah, like kind of put your mouse over that screen.
Okay.
Are you like pressing down, or are you just moving your mouse around?
I'm just moving around. Should I? Oh, wait, I see. Yeah. I'm pressing it. Let's see if it's working. Yeah.
Much like Vanessa, I also use my parents. So this is the image at the back is of them from around the time before I was conceived, just before that. And, you know, it's also kind of frozen on my screen, so I'm not quite sure where it is, like what you're watching. But
I paused it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So, you know, it's myself, and some of you might know Vivek Shraya, who was my supervisee and assistant when he did that, when she did this. And a very kind of simple idea. Like, my parents have been together for a long time. They're always kind of quite affectionate, expressively in love. It's a bit much. And it's a little bit about the impossibility of sort of mapping a similar kind of relationship onto that. And the song, A Whiter Shade of Pale, which Vivek sings, is one of my dad's favorite songs. And in the original version by Procol Harum, it was huge, one of the like all-time biggest hits in Britain. It's like this very epic sounding song, but in fact, it's just about a one-night stand. So I like the contrast between how big and lush and romantic it sounds, not in this version necessarily, but and what the lyrics actually describe. So maybe I'll just leave it to you to finish. I don't know if you've already seen the whole thing. It's short. As the miller told this tale, that a face at first just looks turn whiter, shade of pale, turn whiter, shade of pale. Skip the life and then go to copies across the floor. I hear nothing and no one, so I don't know if anyone has.
Oh,
yeah.
I still hear the music and it's playing.
Yeah. Yeah. So after you finish speaking, I hit play again. So it just started over again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you might be able to adjust your volume if you push your mouse over it to make sure that you're seeing volume on your end. But when I came into the room, I could hear the music,
Yeah,
and I was kind
music
of far
starts
away
playing.
from it, and I started walking towards it, and I started feeling like there was like another image, and as it was playing, in this space, I even went around the backside, and that was kind of where I could see that you were overlaying two images. So it's just a neat effect in this design space to kind of put somebody in with music and give them something and let them walk towards it, but it slightly changed, because my next reaction was to kind of walk around it, to just look at, and when I got behind it, it was like things were getting a little bit clearer. So it's just a very interesting, because it starts really like subtle.
That's actually an interesting point about installation in this space, because we can see it from the other side too. I didn't think about that.
Like I walked behind the movie screen, I could like see like, because it was just like I felt like the motion was really subtle, and as I was just like.
There's so many of us. So it seems like my computer is catching up now. Maybe just give it a minute and see if you were able to move around. No, just one of them is a video.
It's a beautiful room.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yes, the exit is you have to kind of walk this path. We can kind of gather over by the exit and let everybody else catch up when they are done.
Is it right that this one is the video here and in the other ones are stills?
Yeah, so it's two stills and then the video is
Yeah. Okay.
Is this it's like a landscape.
Right. Yeah.
Stills are portrait oriented.
Yeah.
The video's wigging me out because I feel like it's moving when I move. The movement's so subtle. It's like as I walk towards it and all the three-dimensional objects kind of pass me, it's like watching me, which is
yeah,
like,
yeah. That it has that effect that seems that the gaze is towards you. Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm used to mine keeping an eye on me, but
There's also something strange about the two visions because you are not sure who the persons are. So it's a little unsettling or something. This is... Oh.
I think it's funny. So this piece, it's I guess it's like 10 years old at this point.
Oh, okay.
It was my thesis project for grad school, and I think at the time I didn't realize. I think in like a subconscious way I understood what I was doing, but I think in a conscious way I actually didn't understand what this piece was. Basically, I found, I had, just archives again, like everybody else was working with our family. So I had these images of my mother, and, some people are like, oh, you look so much like your mother. And then other people are like, oh, you don't look like your mother. Because, I'm mixed race. And so I have features from my father. But I think that there were just certain things that made people just saw me as being very similar to her. And so I think I was trying to understand, because I was basically inhabiting images that were either taken when she was, I guess, in her like late 20s, early 30s. So like, one of the images might be after I was born, but most of them are from right before. And I think I was just trying to understand her and her state of mind. She's like from Guyana, and then she goes to grad school in Canada, and then she's living in the US, and just trying to like understand her as a person through the work. But then I also think there was this sense of like being subsumed by her. And this kind of goes into like, I think what the text is, which is about, I think, because she was like a single mother, and I think she had like a very strong personality, she had a really strong need to determine, I think, who I was in this fundamental way. And that's like a kind of erasure, and that like the trying to move away from that and to sort of be my own person created this sense of dissonance and monstrosity that sort of occupied our relationship in a way. So this is also a time when we were like fighting a lot. And I think the source of that was really me trying to be Ibsen and not like a surface for her to project onto. And I don't think I 100% understood that at the time. I think it just came from this really instinctual place, and so it was difficult for me to talk about. And so it was like talking about like ancestry and what we inherit, but I think it was also about like how do you take that but also be your own person and not allow yourself to be subsumed by these sort of stronger personalities, or personalities that want to be stronger. If that makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense, I think.
So I saw this when you installed it the first time in that room, and when we helped build it, and I just, not to throw shade at that room, but the under the earth and the sound, the water, like this cave, it's like, I don't know. It's like what I feel like that when it was displayed, you were going for, and in this space, you can like really this like earthen cave, and the sound, and like this like dark water. It's just like, I don't know. I think it fits. I think it looks really good. My bias.
Yeah, I mean, well, I do think that because Sean saw this in our MFA thesis exhibition, and I teamed up with another artist, and we were trying to create like an underground space. And so we painted the walls brown, and we had the lights really low, and we were just trying, I built this seating area that was like also brown, and we really wanted to create that like underground space. And it's like really hard, and like basically a warehouse full of like 100 something different artists to like create that sense of quiet that we wanted. So yeah, I think this is sort of like the space that this piece is meant to be in, is a space like this, not like a gallery space. Yeah.
I mean, the sounds in this space are like the like hearing these sounds and being in this kind of cave, it just works so well and creates like an entire kind of tone and mood that really matches this kind of these strange visuals that are happening in the way that your mother's face is being warped.
Yeah, I agree.
It's stunning, and I love reading the text as you walk down the path. That's such a wonderful addition to the whole experience of like uncovering and discovering.
I really want to get an Oculus. I want to
Yes, one day we will own an Oculus.
maybe not an Oculus, maybe something.
I like the
Unfortunately, I
green.
feel like theirs is the best.
The atmospheric
Yeah,
light
sure.
is good. Oh,
Yeah, I really loved just the way you designed the space. I agree with what everyone said. There's so much depth to it, and I feel like I'm almost inside of you. Just seeing the words paired with the images, just everything about the space. It's just so powerful, and like the way you've chosen to lead us through the space too. You know, it's like we're walking through your journey with you.
Yeah, it's really effective.
Thank you all. Should we move to the next? So,
Kind of a
you
breakthrough.
can see them sticking out of the rocks also.
Yeah. But I went through those middle rocks, and it was almost like it was like the chalice or whatever. Those images were really kind of wild inside the rock.
Yeah.
I play a lot of games, so it was almost like they were level. It was like you found like a hidden secret, and they were like, it was like little bits of narrative, like secret narrative that like took you, if you were flying up around inside the rock, it was kind of just really cool the way it looked as I entered into that area.
Yeah. That's also what I kind of want. I wanted people to hear snippets, because sometimes the stories are quite intimate. So I kind of like the idea that I'm censoring my own voice with other snippets in a way. But yeah.
should I text people in the chat and tell them to try to gather around where you are here?
Yeah, we can also go into the rock. Maybe is that nicer, or?
Well, I think it'll be easier for people to see you.
Yeah,
first. So
I
if we just like
understand.
all gather together here.
Yeah.
And then you would
Let's
take us
gather
somewhere.
here. I think so. Otherwise, everyone will be lost somewhere.
Yeah, it's easy to get lost here.
I would have to cut my hair short like a boy. I would also because uneven.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's kind of was inspiring to talk to Maya. We actually talked quite a few times, so thank you for inspiring me and helping me create this room also. And I think since Anil, Maya, and me talked about this relationship of... Oh, what was that?
Oh, I just gave you some hearts.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, what's going on? Someone just vanished or something into a heart. But yeah, it was, since I am quite struggling also with the relationship with my mother in particular, I'm at the moment we're not really talking, so I think like this was an opportunity to explore, these memories that we are that I have of my youth, but also like all the memories are, and it's also this psychological experience of having all these layers and voices and memories all mixed up together, because sometimes it feels also like that way when you have this kind of relationship to your mother, but it's all it exists of these very intimate moments, but also complexity. And so I think that I like this idea of the fact that we are also not speaking much about things, and it's difficult to have a conversation. But then there were also moments when I really was working very closely with my mother, and she also inspired me to work on this indentured labor history. So I think that this maybe shows this relationship over the years, all the different pictures and memories that they evoke different sentiments. So it's really also talking about these being caught or something in these memories, or being like sort of floating with them, or they are part of you but you never shared them with anyone. So it's also about this I realize when you're not talking to someone that the memories you approach memories quite differently, because all of a sudden you're aware that you start overthinking your relationship in a way. So I think that's interesting about building this room, that I sort of started to think about memories and how much I actually remember. And some memories are quite like they are not that nice, and others they are really they are really visual. So I hope you can experience the room, and also let me know what your thoughts are. Yeah.
I really resonate with the like not having things that you want to talk about with your family and not being able to talk to them, and the metaphor of like this information being hidden inside of a rock or underwater inside of a rock is like, it's so palpable. It's a really, really wonderful like how you visualize this whole experience.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I guess underwater makes one feel like you're in this strange state of mind in a way. So I like the fact that with this room you can build this kind of mood, or like create this strange moods with a voice that becomes louder, and it's actually nice to play around.
Yeah, I mean, I think, what I really appreciate is that you really made a piece in the space. I think a lot of us were sort of installing work in the space, but you really, like, the piece, like, this is the piece, is 100% on this platform. And I just remember when I first experienced this room, just like the sense of like wandering and exploring and coming across things, and like your voice kind of coming at us from different directions. I just I just want to like shout out that you have like a baby, and you're working on your PhD, and yet you like really you really created something like very beautiful for this project, and I just want to say that I appreciate you, and thank you for doing that.
Thanks for inspiring me, and also the conversation we had together, that all of us are working on this really intimate relationship. So it's also motivated me to create this piece basically, and I think that that's maybe a common thread also throughout the works I've seen. So I think that it was also really inspiring to see all these works of other art, all of us that are participating here. So, and it was also.
Who's in this? Sorry, who's in this image?
No, I was just saying that it was also for me like playing around when my daughter is sleeping. I was like, now I can play. It's time for me to relax, and it's a little playtime for myself.
Yeah, it feels like such an adventure moving through this space, and I definitely want to, just jump onto what Maya was saying, it just feels so intertwined, your work, and it's just so fully immersed into one another, the space and your work equally as much. And I really enjoyed navigating this.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's
Yes,
nice.
Sarojini, all the elements work super, super well together. Like, I'm truly hearing the voices. Like, it's almost like a haunting, but you can always find things easily. Like, it's as Vanessa was saying, like, the way in which you use all the elements was so effective. Yeah, this was fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah,
Just even the rock behind you, it's like you go in
experiencing
there and like you see the image, you have to like look at it from the top, so you can go in there directly behind you.
Exactly, yeah. Some
that
of
image,
these
so
rocks you can
you have to fly
access.
up and you have to come at it.
Yeah, yeah. Most of them are. Most of the photographs are flat, so they are like immersed with water. So you can, yeah, you can look at the bottom of the rock to have a better view of the pictures.
Then I took a big scissor from your desk.
But thank you for exploring.
You came home.
I can't wait to explore some more. Like it's not enough time to like really play in here.
Yeah, really, you did so much, Sarojini.
Yeah, but I mean, it was nice for me to sort of drift in this project, like to. I was feeling first. I thought like I can never join this project because I'm not technical, but then I figured it's actually quite not that difficult, and also with all the help of Maya, of course. So, oh, that's my daughter waking up.
Right on cue.
I ate them and then threw them in the trash. Then I took a big scissor from your desk and I got all my hair out. You came home shocked.
After learning about the project, I was really inspired to merge my illustration with photographs of my ancestors on my mother's side, my mother's maternal side of the family. And so I have photographs of, well, the photographs I do have are photographs of my nani, which is the one in the orange that you see. That's my mother's mother. And I grew up very close to her. I was her first grandchild. And so, like we were very close. And she passed away a couple of years ago. And then across from her, the woman in the, the jacket, the red jacket, that's my grandmother's sister, who I refer to as Nani Vijay, and she was very close to me as well. She babysat my sisters and I when we were younger, and then I have a photograph of my great grandmother next to her, and then the two illustrated ones are ancestors that I don't have photographs of. So the one across from my great grandmother, her name is Jasodra, and she was my great great grandmother. And then the one in the middle, I chose to represent my great 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 grandmother, Dukani, who is the one who arrived at the shores of Guyana in 1890. So it's a piece about really taking you all into this portal of the matrilineal divine feminine power that lies within me, and going through that lineage of women in my family, generations back, to India, to that moment where my female ancestor had left. And in the middle of this piece, you'll see a hibiscus tree, and hibiscuses are very special to me. For me, they represent my connection to my Indo-Caribbean identity. My grandmother, I grew up in the Little Guyana neighborhood of Queens in New York City, and I had a hibiscus tree in my backyard. My grandmother planted it, and it grew beautifully. It flourished, and it's always been such a center point. All of our family photographs, we always gathered around the hibiscus tree. Our family dinners that we would have outside, or any backyard thing that we did, we were always gathered around the hibiscus tree. So in that same spirit, I wanted to gather all of my female ancestors around the hibiscus tree. And we had a pink hibiscus just like this as well. So it's really honoring that, and even symbolically, it's really honoring that primordial energy, that energy of manifestation. So yeah, I think this whole room and installation became a piece about me merging my identity as an artist with all of the powerful women that live within me, or whose DNA lives on with me. That's kind of really what this is all about. And I wanted it to be this like walkway that merged land and water. And so I really wanted them the water to move in between the land and have it like immersed within one another. So that's really my inspiration behind the piece, and the energy that I wanted to bring forth in this room.
Thank you for sharing, Seema. I really love these, work, like how you're working with, your photographic images. I think it's a really effective direction for your work. I really like it a lot.
Thank you. Oh, I also want to add one thing. So I was looking for more photographs because I wanted to know if there was a photograph of Bufoja, who was my great-grandmother's mother. And then in that process, my mom's aunt, my grandmother's sister, who still lives in Guyana, she magically found this photograph, which she was just looking and she found one that had my great-grandmother when she was a 10-year-old girl in the 1930s. So it was a really beautiful process of uncovering even more through this journey of creating these pieces. So that was really cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
I love how this pathway is kind of like a family tree, like the branches of a family tree, and how like the water interrupts the lines a little bit sometimes. And I feel like that's a really beautiful, poetic kind of pointing to the experience of memory of our lineages too. Cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a very cheerful room with the atmosphere is very nice. It is like a lot of colors. Makes me cheerful.
Yeah, I like, especially when I think of like this room next to yours, Sarojini, and next to Maya, because there's all these kinds of like interrogations, like, these different relationships to mothers.
Yeah.
And it's like the mood shift. I like that it shows that variety and complexity of the different relationships.
Yeah, I think you can see something of the relationships. Like one is more complex in the other, or how to say? You can't compare, of course, but yeah, I can see what you mean. Like there are these different.
Yeah. Like this one is celebrating
almost.
natural meal, and then yours is sort of more like it's I felt the color contrast of Maya's room is quite different.
Yeah, that's true.
Different mood. And then yours, I think, has a bit more has a lot of ambivalence to it.
Yeah.
That's really interesting, that observation. I think if my mom were in this, it would definitely change the dimension a little bit, because I know, my relationship with my mom was a little bit more complex. But I think, with all of the ancestors in this room, I just have such wonderful memories with my great-grandmother, my great-aunt, and my grandmother.
Yeah.
And they were also very integral. So 12 years ago when I was in college, I was very interested in tracing my ancestry back, and I did this whole project. And I worked in partnership with the photograph the women in these photographs, my great grandmother, great aunt, and grandmother, I was working with them to try to contact family members to figure out this lineage I'm showing right now that traces to the woman who I depict on the far end, who came to Guyana when she was 6 years old, I learned. And her father had died on the ship, unfortunately. So she came alone with her mother. And so it was interesting to uncover all these stories.
It's just a project, you know, I know we're all in this in our computers, and I know I mentioned the Oculus, but I just keep thinking about the kind of the closed, intimate, tactile space of Maya's room, and then kind of the disorienting flying discovery room, and then just kind of walking into this room, that kind of going from the kind of the bungalow into this room. And I'm just trying to imagine, like, I think I've been telling Maya with like Mozilla Hubs, like you're reaching out to maybe them and getting people to kind of look at this and maybe optimize certain things, because I honestly think this is a showcase for just, we don't have the virtual reality goggles on and the headpieces and the hand controls, but that is such a completely immersive experience when you have that. I just really wonder what it would be like to walk through this with those goggles. And I think the fact that you all have done this is, you might not think you're like, you guys are way, you were saying like having problems with the technical aspects, but you're ahead of everybody else because like no other artists are kind of doing stuff like this. And I just think it's a great way for you all to connect. And this looks really great. I mean, sorry, you know, Maya's been talking about it, but this is the first time I've gone into all the rooms because I kind of wanted to see it when you guys did it. And so I want goggles now, because now that I've done it with the controls, I want to actually come in here with goggles and really immerse myself and see what that effect is like. Because with the sounds and the range of motion and everything, I bet it'd be pretty wild. Because this art looks so great here, because it's just so big, and it's almost like monuments, right, for these illustrations. And you can't create that in a gallery. You can't create that effect with like something like this in the gallery, because I'm sure these things aren't like 10 people tall, right? But
Right.
in space, they just like really just loom large, and clearly loom large into this person, you know. And it's just, you know, I think this is really, really cool. You guys should play around in here.
Oh yeah, it really does do that. The size.
Yeah, the size was exciting. Like it was amazing to see how large like how it looks at such large scale.
Yeah.
Even though navigating through the computer, it was magical to like just see it. Just there was no limit. There's no limits to what you can do, and I haven't quite figured out everything on here. But yeah, that was a really interesting thought. You know, definitely would love to see it with those goggles.
It's also nice to see all these pictures of different generations and how you sort of rework them. Yeah. It seems something like there are a lot of different layers, I think. And did you make these collages?
So I do mostly digital art right now. I've done watercolors in the past, but everything here is digitally produced. And so I took photographs and I just sort of played around with them digitally.
Yeah.
Third eyes is really big in my work. So third eyes to me represent your inner power, your
Right.
strength,
Yeah, it seems to be something spiritual also, huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah, my work really centers women, spirituality, and nature, and just puts up a cross section of that. And and I was like, what if I could make my own ancestors my subjects? Because they live within my work, but so it was really cool to bring them to life in this way. And
yeah,
I don't know, it's exciting to be able to see it in this way. And I really loved how it came out. And you know, my great grandmother holding the Corella in her hand. It was fun that she had it in her hand in the photo, and so I just highlighted that as a part of this theme of nourishment.
Okay.
Yeah.
My daughter is also very fascinated by the images. She's looking at the screen.